Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Tea Time with Theo. I have a very special guest today. He's super talented. He's a former news reporter, super charismatic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one and only Russell Rowe.
Thank you for having me. We'll raise our glasses to this and
absolutely property. So, Russell, let's get started here. First, the pandemic has been really awful. People have been forced to sit at home. What have you been doing to keep busy, to stay relevant, to make sure that you come back bigger, better than ever? What have you been doing?
I mean, let's be real. I mean, when the gyms closed, I think a lot of people lost ambition, but I just made sure that I was doing my cardio at home. I didn't need another body to do my cardio because I'm hella fine by myself. I've also just used my Twitter fingers to call out any basic son of a gun that likes to think that, you know, running the old school way is the way to go. Like, your racism, your homophobia, your transphobia, we ain't got the time for that. Shoot.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that. You've been, oh wow, first of all, you are the first guest who has drank their beverage proper, pinky in the air.
How we do it. We bad and bougie in this bitch.
Hold on. Period. So let's talk about you on social media. You actually have one of the very few social media accounts I actually enjoy. You put out very good content. You showed us in the past how you were a news reporter. Talk to us about that. That's an awesome career.
So 5 years ago, it'll be 5 years in May, I graduated from the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, magna cum laude, with my BA in journalism, and I interned at a couple news organizations in the Minneapolis area, packed up my stuff, moved up to Fargo, did the news reporting thing, and then realized that I wanted to take my career in a new direction and tell stories in a different way. So here I am, kicking ass and taking names in the ring and sipping a little tea while we're at it.
That's amazing. So you said Fargo. Are there men in Fargo worth mentioning? Oh, is that a conversation off camera?
I mean, we could have it on camera. I mean, there was a few people, you know, I was in a relationship, but I was on Grindr at the time trying to meet people because I didn't know how to meet anybody else. And, you know, there were a couple people that I've talked to throughout the years, and, you know, we've continued to talk. Nothing really has ever transpired, but, like, you know, there's some in Fargo, but if you, like, go to, like, Bismarck or, like, anywhere outside of Fargo, you're not going to find a man. Shoot, you're going to find, like,
Snow.
I'm like an oil working, Trump gun shooting mother son of a, where insert censored rant here. But
oh no, sweetheart, you can use all the foul language you are. I'm English, come on.
Fair enough. Yeah, you've got a whole bunch of alt-right loving mother fuckers in and outside of Fargo, but Fargo does have a little bit of spark, but there's not really much of a queer scene, so
it's kind of not worth mentioning and not worth wasting my time on my show.
No, not at all.
Moving along.
Unless you see a Time Bomb Pro show, that's the only good thing that Fargo has to offer. So.
Don't even know what that is.
That's where the first Twink Gauntlet happened.
Ooh, the world loves a good twink.
Before the Twink Gauntlet at the Collective, there was a Twink Gauntlet with Effie in Fargo.
So I've got a question for you. So people who don't know your past, you actually started off as Dewey Decimal. And now you are Russell Rowe. Can you talk to us about the transition and what made you want to do that?
So Dewey was a rib, and I hated it. I hated it a lot. I hated it as much as I hate pickles and vinegar beets. I was not happy as Dewey Decimal, but, like, they just wanted me to be on the show, and they needed someone to manage this person named Leonard Literacy, and it just kind of fit.
Oh, so he recently gave me some tips on how to keep the hog intact when you're wrestling.
Oh God. It's called a dance belt or a jock strap or something. But anyway, I was like at the point where I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And like being a joke character can only get you so far. Like,
That's true.
yeah, I can do comedy, but I don't look at myself as a comedy wrestler. Like at my heart, I am a worker. And like, I was like, I need to like really be myself and be the badass bitch that we all know that I am. So I had to fight and scratch to really make that transition. And, I didn't, it was only then where I felt like I really had a brand and an identity established for myself. Because you can't establish and take a gimmick named Dewey Decimal very far. You really cannot. Like, sorry, it can get over at a local indie level, but it's not going to get you much further than that.
That's true. So another question about you being yourself. One of my favorite clips of you were standing over someone doing the grind. How did that come about?
So Sable is the baddest. And I actually remember doing that spot for the first time very early in the whole Russell Rogue transition. It was a good cheap pop after a post-match attack, and it stuck. So after I laid Devon's ass out, I was like, flip around and did my little thing, looked good, felt myself, and then Jared Evans was like, I'm going to pop you with a Nikki Bella forearm and make you regret it. So.
Did you drop the bomb on him after or no? I'm still waiting for that payback.
Oh, that payback is coming, and it's coming in multiple different ways. His receipt, I've got it in the bag.
Awesome. So we're actually in the midst of Black History Month, which is abysmal, was quite disrespectful in the Black History Year. But for you as a biracial person, have you had any issues in the wrestling business in terms of your racial identity, people putting you in one box but not allowing you to be in another, or saying you're not white enough, you're not black enough? Have you experienced that in wrestling?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I am lighter skinned, and I know that with that comes a degree of white privilege, and I'm not going to deny that. But like, I have had people being like, okay, Oreo. Like, I hate it when people call me Oreo. Like, I know Oreos are good, but like, that's a derogatory term to call a biracial person. And,
wow.
When people like to go and deny like someone's experience with blackness, I think that's just, it's a bunch of BS. Like, blackness is a lot more than like what you see on the surface. It's what you are raised around. It's like your family structure, your neighborhood structure. Like, I've dealt with code switching for my entire life and being told that like the way that I spoke wasn't correct. I remember back in 7th grade, I was told that like using like AAVE was not properly correct. And so,
of course.
I've had to code switch with so many people, even in locker rooms. And so like sometimes sometimes the way that I would speak in front of my close friends comes out in the locker room, and usually it's like with my close friends. So,
So let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Now that you said that. So is it safe to say that as successful as you are, as confident as you are, you're a bit fake? I'm just saying, because you said you've got to switch up. So are you as real as you pretend to be, or are you just whoever you need to be based on who you're around? Because it seems a little fake to me, sweetheart. Just saying. The fans were in my DM saying, Russell's a bit of a fake bitch, you better watch out. So I'm just asking one journalist to another, how really real are you?
Let's put it like this. This past year has given me a lot more confidence, not just inside the ring, but also outside of it. And, I feel more authentic than I ever have. So if anyone wants to go and call me fake, then you know what? That's fine. I don't necessarily think that, fake things are the worst. Like if you want to have fake boobs, get those fake boobs. If it makes you happier, it makes you happier.
First of all, what you will not do is slander women and their boobs on my show. That's my job. Thank you.
Who said I
If
was
you want to report
slandering?
on things, excuse me. If you want to report on things, you can go back to your news channel where you no longer work, where they let you go, where they wished you well on your future endeavors, sweetheart. But on my show, the only slander comes from me. Thank you.
I wasn't
Back to
even
programming.
slandering women, but if you want to go and misconstrue my words, then I'm going to exit this tea time and have a little wine time. So,
Excuse me. No,
and
This session is over when I say it's over
bye
because the people
bye,
asked me to
bye
have you here, and you will leave when I say you can leave.
bye.
And excuse me, which was supposed to be. You see what happens? You call people out for their nonsense and they can't take it. You call people out on them being fake, they can't handle it. You call people out on not being proper, and what do? They hang up on me. I'm done with this. I've tried to be real. I've tried to be proper. I've tried to be sophisticated. I'm done. I'm just done. I'm done.